Hello! I am the majestic frigate, also known as Manowar bird. I will tell you about the arrival of the Portuguese and the beginning of the fortresses of the island of Santa Catarina, where me and my colleagues love to fly. Indigenous peoples were the first inhabitants of the island. They lived off hunting, fishing, collecting fruits, roots, and had small plantations. They lived in villages. In the meantime, some people sailed in caravels through the seas in search of land to extract their riches. The people that disputed the region of the island were the Portuguese and the Spanish. The Portuguese were the first explorers occupying the island. These started over 300 years ago, when Francisco Dias Velho arrived bringing his family, some African and indigenous slaves, continuing later with the coming of other families. This first settlement was called Nossa Senhora do Desterro. The indigenous population who lived on the island was decreasing as different explorers passed through the region. When the Portuguese arrived, many indigenous peoples had already been killed or taken as slaves by different navigators. Some went to live on the mainland to protect themselves from attacks, and others were enslaved by the Portuguese. With the Spaniards still interested in taking the island of the Portuguese, Portugal sent the Brigadier José da Silva Paz to build a fortress and protect that territory. He built a defense system formed by 4 fortresses. Don't confuse the Brigadier of this history with those chocolate candies delicious, which have the same name in Brazil. Brigadier in this story means the commander of a brigade. What's a brigade? It can be said that brigade is a set of soldiers. As the fortresses of Santa Cruz de Anhatomirim, Santo Antônio de Ratones, and São José da Ponta Grossa formed a triangle and protected the north bar of the island. The Fortaleza da Nossa Senhora da Conceição de Araçatuba was built to protect the south bar of the island. With the construction of the fortresses, the Portuguese believed that the island was protected against the Spaniards, but they were wrong. In 1777, the Spaniards arrived with many men, weapons, and vessels. They landed in Canasvieiras Beach and, by land, without any confrontation, took the island. The possession of the island of Santa Catarina by the Spaniards lasted only a year and a half. During this period, the Portuguese disputed other lands with the Spaniards. Therefore, to solve the conflicts, the 2 crowns have made a deal. Portugal would be with the island of Santa Catarina and Spain with the colony of Sacramento, desired land by both, located in Uruguay. Resolved this dispute between the 2 peoples, were no longer necessary fortresses to defend the island. Then, the 4 fortifications idealized by the Brigadier gradually were being abandoned. With the abandonment, there was depredation, theft of woods and tiles, the vegetation grew, walls collapsed, and the fortresses turned into ruins. To protect the fortresses, they were declared National Historical Heritage. Over time, researchers began to become concerned about the possibility of disappearance of these constructions and the forgetfulness of this part of history. So, they started research to identify who had lived there, what they ate, what habits they had, what materials and techniques they used to build the fortresses, for then rebuild them. From 1979, the Federal University of Santa Catarina, UFSC, adopted the three fortresses of North Bar. They were rebuilt, but no more to protect the island from territorial disputes, but to be open-air museums with the objective of recounting this part of the history for its visitors and keep the memory alive.